Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're an executive, a business owner, or a procurement pro trying to figure out the post-Brexit landscape of importing premium Pakistani Basmati rice into the UK, you are in exactly the right place. Think of this as your ultimate strategic playbook. We're going to break down the whole shebang, from supplier verification and grain specs to the incredibly strict 2026 UK border regulations. We're using the source material to safeguard your supply chains and ultimately protect your bottom line.
So here's a question for you. What actually makes a single grain of rice worth importing across 4,000 miles? Well, the answer literally lies in the ground. It's all about the fertile soil, the highly controlled irrigation systems, and this completely unique climate found in the Punjab regions of Pakistan, specifically places like Hafizabad and Gujranwala. Seriously, these precise conditions are the only way to cultivate those aromatic, long-grain varieties that have become an absolute non-negotiable staple here in the UK.
Okay, let's dive into this. Today's roadmap covers 1. The value of Pakistani Basmati. 2. Choosing the right variety. 3. Processing and quality control. 4. Essential documents and certifications. 5. Avoiding common procurement pitfalls. And 6. The 2026 UK import regulations. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. The value of Pakistani Basmati. So, why is this specific grain so insanely prized? Honestly, it boils down to two things: incredible aroma stability and exceptional grain separation after cooking. That's why it's a massive staple across UK retail, wholesale, and catering. To put that into perspective, take the number 8.30. 8.30 millimeters is the minimum grain length of premium 1121 basmati before it even hits the boiling water. But here's the crazy part. After cooking, it actually elongates to over 18 millimeters. That's an elongation ratio of more than 2 times. For premium retail supermarkets, that visually striking, super long grain is exactly what the consumer is paying top dollar for.
Section 2. Choosing the right variety. Now, the absolute most important thing to remember here is that there's no single perfect spec. It entirely depends on who your target customer is and your exact market positioning. Let's look at 1121 white rice. Like we just talked about, its extremely long grains make it the absolute darling of premium supermarkets. On the flip side, you've got Super Kernel Basmati. Shorter grains, sure, but it packs a significantly stronger aromatic punch and has a much softer cooked texture. This makes Super Kernel the hands-down favorite for ethnic grocery stores and traditional South Asian diaspora consumers who really associate it with authentic home cooking.
Processing differences are just as vital, by the way. Steam rice keeps a much lighter color and softer texture, which is, ideal for standard retail. But then there's Golden Sella. Golden Sella goes through a parboiling process, soaking, steaming, and drying before it's even milled. This dramatically strengthens the actual grain structure. So if you're a high-volume caterer running a massive buffet, Golden Sella is basically your insurance policy against mushy, broken rice sitting in holding trays all day. And we definitely can't ignore the 1509 variety. It's a fantastic, budget-friendly alternative because it matures faster in the fields and yields way more crop, which obviously brings the price down. Crucially, it gives you a highly competitive, fast-cooking option for value-focused retail segments, all without sacrificing that premium, long-grain appearance that UK consumers demand.
Section 3. Processing and quality control. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is the sheer level of technology and rigor involved in getting this agricultural product ready for export. The harvested paddy is cleaned, dried, dehusked, polished, and then carefully graded by exact grain length. But pay special attention to step 4, optical color sorting. This is wild. State-of-the-art scanners literally hunt for off-color or discolored grains right on the processing line and zap them out instantly. This is what guarantees that bright, pure, consistent shelf appearance that UK supermarkets strictly enforce. Let's talk about the number 14. 14 is the absolute maximum moisture percentage limit, period. Anything higher than 14% is just a massive liability. If your rice is packed with excessive moisture, it significantly increases the risk of fungal contamination and spoilage during that long sea transit from Pakistan all the way to the UK. And storage resilience is directly tied to how the rice was processed. Golden Sella, it can survive up to 18 months, even in a brutal 40°C warehouse environment. Steam rice, on the other hand, holds its quality for about 12 months. This explains exactly why wholesalers who supply non-climate-controlled catering warehouses strategically procure Golden Sella. It just offers unparalleled durability sitting on the pallet.
Section 4. Essential documents and certifications. Do not underestimate this phase, guys. Missing a single document can literally freeze your entire multi-ton shipment at the UK border. Let's rapidly run through this compliance checklist. You're going to need HACCP and ISO 22000 for safety, plus phytosanitary and fumigation certificates just to prove plant health to the border authorities. Notice halal certification on there? That is absolutely critical if you're supplying UK Muslim retail networks. Oh, and don't skip the SGS inspection reports. Having an independent pre-shipment inspection prevents commercial disputes and quality rejections before the container even leaves the port. It's a lifesaver.
Section 5, Avoiding Common Procurement Pitfalls. Think of this section as essential risk mitigation. These are the absolute nightmare scenarios that can wreck your bottom line. And this brilliantly illustrates one of the worst things that can happen: a sweating container. If you neglect those moisture tests we just talked about, or say you file incorrect HS customs codes, your container gets delayed at the port for weeks. The trapped moisture condensates, the container sweats, and the retail value of the rice inside is completely destroyed. Nobody wants that. Another absolutely critical metric is 2%. This represents the strict 2% broken percentage tolerance level that UK retail chains frequently require. I mean, consistent appearance is everything for premium positioning. If your shipment exceeds the strict 2% limit for broken greens, it leads to immediate shipment rejection by the buyer, no questions asked. I really have to reiterate this point because it's a remarkably common buyer misunderstanding. Do not confuse steamed rice with Golden Sella. Actually, let me put it this way. If you procure the wrong processing type for the wrong application, you destroy the culinary performance. Serving steamed rice at a massive all-day buffet will just result in mush. But serving Golden Sella when a customer expects soft, delicate retail rice, that's going to result in complaints. You've got to get it right. Section 6, 2026 UK Import Regulations. The post-Brexit landscape basically means UK buyers must now manage independent customs clearance systems completely separate from the EU frameworks. And the UK Food Standards Agency is incredibly strict. They demand total traceability from the farm in Punjab all the way to your UK warehouse. Your shipments are going to be actively monitored for pesticide residues, aflatoxins, and other contaminant controls. Basically, if your paperwork doesn't map perfectly to the physical shipment, you aren't getting through. And for those of you dealing in private labels, strict UK labeling requirements are an absolute minefield. Packaging errors will instantly halt your supermarket onboarding. You have to ensure that formats ranging from a tiny 1-kilo retail pack all the way up to a giant 40-kilo wholesale bag correctly display country of origin, importer details, batch information, and storage instructions. Get it checked, then check it again. When you're mapping all this out, keep the number 24 in the back of your mind. 24 metric tons is roughly what fits into a standard 20-foot shipping container, depending on your packaging configuration, of course. This is your absolutely crucial logistics metric for procurement volume planning. So the crucial point is summarized perfectly by this golden rule. Choose the specification before choosing the shipment. That is the ultimate rule of thumb. You absolutely must define the exact variety, the processing method, the broken percentage, the packaging, and your target market first. Only then do you go out and find the export-ready supplier capable of meeting those exact demands. Which leaves us with one final question to wrap up our explainer. Have you chosen your exact specification before your next shipment? I challenge you to immediately review your own procurement specs today. Dial in your metrics and request exact samples from an export-ready supplier. Seriously, don't leave your supply chain to chance. Thanks for joining me, and here's to a flawless import strategy in 2026. Let's make it happen.